Good morning. So what do we got going on? Okay, so today, now, it's time to assemble. Full disclosure, I've actually gone through and I've done all the sort of fiddly things, like cap jewels and die fix settings and all that stuff. It's all done. And I did myself a favor. I don't even know how long ago. Where is it? Come here. Come here, damn you. Yes. I rebuilt this mainspring and barrel. It was NOS, and now it's going to go into that watch. Okay, so there that is. I don't know, maybe I'll take that off. Okay, so what do we got going on? What do we got going on? All the die fixes in. Okay, all nice and clean. Of course, I just have to trust that I knew what I was doing when I rebuilt this thing. It doesn't look NOS. I must have meant an NOS mainspring. The heck would I have gotten that? See, that's why it's important to take notes, so you don't have to rely on your own memory. Unfortunately, I always forget to take notes. Okay, so what do we got to do? Oh, we got to lubricate lower third wheel. Lower mainspring arbor jewel, that's lubricated. I guess those two. I do these a couple different ways. They're probably both ways are wrong, so for God's sake, don't do what I do. Okay. Yeah, looks pretty good. I mean, I have replacements if I need them, but I'm not interested in replacing something. Gosh, I'm shaky today. Okay, and that goes right there. Just like that. Beauty. And this goes just like this. Yeah, that looks like a not NOS barrel. So I'll bet you anything that is not an NOS barrel, but it is an NOS mainspring. And again, I have no idea where I got one because they don't exist. Okay. Come on. Gimme. Okay. Come on. No. One of my other issues is that I know these parts well enough that I often don't take the time to separate out the things that I need, which means I have to hunt around for the screws. But thankfully, I know which screw is which screw. And before anybody thinks that that's some kind of superhuman deal, they're not that complicated, and I do them all the time. So, it's like talking to a pro about a brake job. It may look like black magic, but they just do it a lot. Okay, so that's tight. Let's see if we got any. that's actually pretty floppy. That's actually pretty floppy. Look at that. Maybe. Pallet fork and arbor. Okay, I need to find, I'm going to put a new center wheel in it. I'm not even sure how many years ago I got this. I have no idea. What's cool about these is that they come with a new cannon pinion. So it's got a little bit of storage humidity on it. I don't want to open another one. So what we are gonna do, let me tell you what we're gonna do. We are gonna get us a little one dip, because it's good for what ails you. And one dip is this really cool old school stuff. It was invented to be a pretty aggressive cleaner against gruck, but to not touch anything else. So what that makes it useful for is you can clean off all kinds of haze and stuff, and you really get a good cleanness. Let's get this done. I'm really supposed to be using lint-free, but right now I'm not going to. Okay. The only other thing that's a challenge is getting off the cannon pinion without warping the main wheel. That's always interesting fun. Hang on. Okay. Now the reason, by the way, I looked at that is because the wheel was clonking back and forth like this, side to side. And that's going to bleed off power. It's going to drain power. It's going to make the watch much less, damn it, efficient. Criminy. Come on, come on, come on. Well, we shall see. I've already got... No. Let's try this again. Jeez, oh Pete, I'm shaky. Okay, so this is the problem for why you don't rely on your memory, because we thought that was, of course, that was 224-615, which is, if you'll notice, it's right there. 6159A, 6156, 6155. They're the same model, and they use slightly different center wheels. But more than that, 6159B, they redid it again. So it's not 615, it's not 224-615, it's 224-522. And they do not interchange. So that's why we don't rely on our memory, because we get it wrong. Now, the ones that I do have that were correct were unmarked. They were loose. I got them from a parts house in Canada forever ago. They were unmarked, so I had to do some measurements, but it looks good. We're not flopping around, no flopping, no slopping. Here we go with my not really NOS barrel. By the way, the kids are upstairs playing some board game. They're busy fighting with each other, so you're going to hear a good amount of screaming, probably. Okay, so let's test that again, shall we? I'm getting some side to side, but nothing like what I got before. And these are all new, so I'm not going to get any extra stuff out of that. It's certainly better than it was. Let's see. Okay, so you know what? We're just going to push ahead. We're just going to do it. I'm going to do it. So we need to put in our hacking lever and our wheels. And we need to see if we can get this train to turn. Hopefully that won't be that difficult. There's your hacking lever, and it has to go in basically first because it goes underneath everything. That sits there where it's supposed to. You'd think they're killing each other. It's just a board game. Man. Okay, let's go here. Now, another thing you're supposed to do is test each wheel individually. I don't feel like taking the train on and off that many times. I just don't want to. So I'm not going to. Wait, why aren't you dropping in there? I am going to test that because it does not look to me like that escape wheel is sitting down where I need to be. And these jewels on these ones, they're not open on the bottom. They're like a cup. And the bottom is sealed. So if there's something in there, you need to go and find it. So in this case, I am actually going to just test to see if I'm right or wrong. Because I don't want to crank this thing down and find out. Come on, come on. God. Okay. That dropped in. Good. Again, don't follow me when it comes to lubrication. It's entirely possible, in fact, likely, that I'm doing this wrong. Because I come up with my own methods, and then that's what I stick to. Okay, we got our hacking lever, third wheel, fourth wheel, escape wheel. That's in its place. There's the main spring, the screw for the bridge is in there. Okay. Now, of course, I do have to oil these because I forgot. Yes. All right. Okay. Stop it. I know I say it a lot, but don't be like me. I use this tool because I'm super familiar with it, but it's not probably something I should be using in watch work, but I do it anyway. Come on, drop. No, that's as it should be. So it's not screwed down. I'm going to go in here and I'm just going to good. They didn't even use the standard 6000 series screws. They went all fancy schmancy on it. They have nice high polish ones, not the domed stamp ones, which is cool. Would you stop that? Get up, 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 up. You know where you're supposed to go. There. Let's do this now. I typically, when I'm screwing down a bridge like this, I don't seat everything hardcore. I want to put the screws in and then make sure that the train is running, that I didn't pop a pivot out or anything. Okay. Man, there's no sound like when you're firming down a bridge and you hear a teeny tiny click. Because that means, my friends, you probably need to get a new wheel. And as usual, ask me how I know that. Okay, we got that. Let's go over things, make sure we're good. All right. Ratchet wheel. Yeah, normally I don't ever do these rebuilds on camera anymore. Just because I want to make sure I'm really paying attention to a customer's watch. But this is my watch. And if I screw up, the only angry person is going to be me. I like to run this a little bit too, not just to make sure the train is running, but also to run lubricant around. And that's a cool thing to do. That's what the cool kids do. They make sure their lubricant is slopped around where it needs to be. Okay, now it's pallet fork time. So the pallet fork grease that I use is 9415. It's a heavier grease, but it's formulated to stay in place. Basically, you put it where it puts and it's supposed to stay there. I don't think it's much of an excuse for not using Fixo Drop, but you know, so far I've had pretty decent Come on, give me that reflection. You got to get the light reflecting off of the face of the palette stone so you can see it. And then I come in with my vision between the two. Damn it. So weird. Why does it do that? Why? How many times can it come up tails? So I just put a little bit of power in it just to see if I can get this to flick. Yep, that's a flick all right. So let's screw it down. I am just trying to be super careful. Because again, you just don't want to snap something. Especially when parts for these are not that easy to come by. Okay, so again, I'm going to make sure this thing flicks before I screw it down. Wow, just like that, kaboom. So I have all the jewels in top and bottom, which means I can drop the balance. Make sure you all... Let me just check something. Okay, good. Again, I'm going to be real delicate. Okay, I just moved over to the other side of the bench. You remember it was running barely, it was running 100 points lower than this, right? 130s, 140s, and it had beat error. So these numbers are already pretty solid. I never get super, like these things never run at like 270, 280. They just don't. Not for me anyway. I guarantee you a good part of that drain, besides not being serviced, was that worn center wheel. Yeah, those are good numbers. I'm happy with that right now. Okay, I'm going to start on the front side now. Calendar side, bottom side. Come on, man. Okay. Okay. Now we're going to flip it over. One thing about working on movements that have this, use a single piece monocoque case, is they don't have a movement ring spring, which is something that I use. But thankfully, this is a 6000 series, which means all the internal architecture of any 6000 series movement ring will work. Okay, man, nothing to it but to do it. I'm not going to be foolish enough to claim that I'm on the home stretch, but I'm closer to it than I used to be. Okay. How can they fight so much over a board game? It's where we want to be. Now, again, don't listen to me when it comes to lubrication. I have my own thing. It might be right. It's entirely possible that it's wrong. So, your mileage may vary. Always something to check. You want to make sure this thing isn't like splayed out, because this is the date pusher. It's supposed to be a perfect circle. You don't want it to, have gotten forced backwards enough that it doesn't work anymore. Darn it, gosh. Part of the problem is too, so I'm trying to stay out of the way of the camera. It's one of the reasons I don't do this on camera very often, because I'm too far away from it. I'm sort of balancing. It's like, going to a cocktail party and eating a plate of snacks off your knees. It's no fun. It doesn't work. Boy, you do not want to sit down there, do you? Holy cow. Would you get in there? Jeez. This is what you were made to do. What's the damn problem? Get in. Okay. that in. Let's see how that can opinion feels. Yeah. There we go. And we're off. Yeah, good. Now back to this. Back to get. Okay, there's that. Jumper. Date wheel jumper. Just one of the funner things in life. Everybody likes a date wheel jumper. They're so cheerful. They're so happy. Okay. Date wheel guard. For being clean, that's pretty dirty. Come on. There, thank you. Not like you got anything better to do today. Unless you're going to go out and shovel my walk. Okay, let's get those screws in. Come on. Again, I don't seat them all the way. I just try to get them all in, and then I'm going to go around. Nope. There we go. Okay, yep, that feels good. Cool. Okay, let's go see what the numbers are again. Okay, there it is. I haven't started this yet. It still runs, but it's not displaying. Yeah. Man. Good movement. Now, I'm not going to adjust accuracy and all that stuff. I'm not going to do that on screen because I've got to really be on top of it, because that's the thing about a single piece case. The movement has to be 100% ready to go before you drop it in. So I'm going to need to test this thing overnight and upside down and all this other kind of stuff. Definitely a good place to start, huh? And look at how steady each interval, counting interval is. So you can see the differences between the gain or loss and see how steady you are. It is some time later. That is because the movement can't hear and because there's some other stuff that's not real. It's amazing. This thing is picking up noise from upstairs. You know, it does have gain. A gain setting, you know, Spencer. You can always turn that down. That's pretty good. I want to get it flat, though. I'm going to do that. Unless, barring something weird, I'm going to come back when basically the watch is ready to put together. Cool. Running. Running. Yeah, again, that's not real. This thing can't really, it's hearing too much. I don't want to fiddle with the gain right now, but I will next time, I swear. Yeah, I don't think there's any way that I can really get this better. And one of the most important things is to remember when to stop. No, I'm not going to try to make that better. I don't care about 1 second. Stop. Whew. And it appears that so far I haven't jacked it up. I'm always a little nervous when you lock these things and you bolt these things back together. You just hope that you didn't miss anything. Because if I don't have to open this watch again for some time, that would be great. That's some good accuracy. And great numbers. It's probably one of the higher numbers I've ever gotten out of one of these, actually. You know, the overall watch is great, but the action is in the movement. All right, let's move this over here. And let's get some final thoughts. Pretty cool, huh? Pretty cool. Pretty wild thing. You know, actually, something about these I wanted to say. People call these the Grandfather Tuna. That implies that it's 2 generations before the regular tuna. And that's absolutely, as everybody knows, as every school child knows, that's completely wrong. This is the first tuna. This isn't anyone's. This thing grandfathered is into the 7 seas. Those are this person's grandchildren. This is the tuna, the OG tuna. It's nobody's grandfather. It was there first. This isn't some, old dude, mowing his lawn and wearing New Balance and thinking about baseball. This was it. This was the real deal. This was made for working and surviving. It was nobody's. I mean, grandfathers, of course, did that, but they weren't necessarily grandfathers yet. This is the OG tuna. I don't know what else to call it. I don't think it should be called the grandfather anymore. I think that's a misnomer. I think it's incorrect and it gives the wrong impression. This thing it's ready to go. So it's really cool. I have to kind of get used to it. I mean, kind of relax. Working on one of these it's always a little, I don't know, a little harrowing. You just really got to be on your game. Oh, look at that. I lightened up the lume, cleaned the lume. That looks pretty good. I could have pushed this a little harder, but I didn't want to. That split lollipop is pretty cool. Seiko never tried that again. And they never did these either. I don't know why. Oh, this is another crystal. It's original, but it's in pretty good condition. The AR is gone, long gone. But that's the way it goes. It's got a few little marks. In any case, long story short, this is a really cool watch. And if anybody who's into dive stuff, dive collections, or having a Seiko collection or whatever, these really are cool. They're really cool. And they're worth wearing. And they're worth having. Yeah, that's pretty cool, huh? Well, thank you for sitting around for all of this stuff. I guess I might check back in with an accuracy result. It's currently set to the second, but I'm not going to do that in this video. Thank you so very, very much for watching. So I had a couple more thoughts. First, I did take the shroud off because I was having some bezellating problem action. This watch actually looks pretty good as a bottle cap style. At least I think so. I don't know, I think that looks pretty boss. It has nice proportions. And it looks really toolish. Kind of like having it looks like a deep sea diver, the old helmets they had. That's, for some reason, it reminds me of that. Industrial. But let's put it back the way it's meant to be. Well, I'm super happy with how this came out. I'm just really pleased. I mean, the whole thing's been a surprise from one end to the other, but, well, not really. I mean, I knew what I was doing. I was just a little shocked is all. But it came out beautifully. It's odd. This is an early one, and I'd swear to it that this watch had never been opened. But the hands
have odd little flecks right there at the base of the loom windows, like some kind of manufacturing thing. I mean, it's real subtle, but I don't ever remember seeing that before. I also note that the central, I don't know, strut or whatever in the middle of that minute hand isn't centered. Maybe they had manufacturing problems with these things. Maybe that's why they went the other way. Yeah, look at that. It's definitely off center, that strut in the middle. Interesting. The rotating ring is kind of a bear to turn. You can do it, but it's fine with the shroud off. It's hard to get enough purchase, but I also think the shroud is slightly warped and might be touching. So I have to go back in and look at that. Still not 100% sure on the strap. I'll dig through my other straps and see. Plus also, I'd like it to be on, a strap that really works for me. Plus, this one smells like Grandfather's closet. And I'm trying to get away from the Grandfather thing, so that's what I think I'm going to try and do. I don't know. It's a really cool, one-of-a-kind, unique sporting watch. It's just like a crazy, beautiful tool watch. This is the OG Tuna. This is the OGT, the very one. It's really cool. Some of these details are really awesome. I love the fact that the heads are full cross-cut. It means it's much harder to strip them out. You can get more purchase on them. And I don't know. Looking at this and servicing it and going through them, and I've seen them before, this thing has a Grand Seiko movement in it. It's a 6159. The Grand Seiko is 6145, 6146. Date or date 8. And this is a top of the line piece, top of the line. If this were first made today, this would undoubtedly be a Grand Seiko branded. I mean, can you imagine how much Seiko would cost, would charge for a 1-to-1 remake of this? I'm not talking the 8L3, whatever. I'm talking the real deal. I don't know. Well, it's a beautiful piece. It's a privilege to see one like this. I mean, I've owned them. Heck, I had one that was a 6159/70/19, which was very short-lived North American run, and it was like in almost unworn condition. It was astonishing. But this is nice. It's nice. Just a fine amount of wear. Gives it some, credibility, but no damage. And as one of the commenters said down there, this was a working watch. Very cool. I'm very happy to have it. It was fun to work on it. A little nerve-wracking, but fun. Crazy. Okay, well, thank you so much for watching, and that's that. So I was out digging through my crap. I swear this is the last addendum. I was sitting here and I was like, how many years have I had that strap just sitting in that bag? And why? Why? So I can make it, make it to my deathbed and say, oh, thank goodness I never used that strap. I've been saving it for when I need it. And I had to remind myself that I need it now. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to try it. See if we can get it broken in. I'm probably going to take it off here, heat it up, and form it to my wrist a little. That'll probably give us a better chance of longevity. But I'm going to wear it on this. Just like I went down to the, Seiko store in the corner and bought a new strap. We'll see how it does. Okay, now I'm done. Okay, I lied. So, I forgot that strap. This is the XL. It was only designed to go over a wetsuit. Or a you know, a dry suit or whatever. And even this far in, it's still, you know, it's incredibly loose on me. And if I went any further, I'd have a strap going blink. So my two choices are to cut this, try to come up with some other kind of keeper up here, which is possible actually, it's not a bad idea. I just have to put some kind of a rubber diddly right up here. But even with then, that means it would come up to right about there. I don't know. I might keep it on, I might not. I just put it in some pretty good warm water out of the tap for 20 seconds or less. It might get a little sticky on you if you're doing stuff like this, but it works really well to soften it up just long enough so that you can form it. So I'll probably do that now. I mean, what are my choices? I'm not saving it until my deathbed. I'm gonna wear the damn thing. I'll figure out a keeper. Nope, I couldn't take it. So this is a DAL1BP, genuine Seiko, JDM. I should have cleaned it. Wait, is this a DAL1BP or is this a Z22? Yeah, DAL1BP. It's nice because it's got the great finish. It's just flexible enough. It doesn't feel sticky. It's got this nice grain front and back. And there's this. The only problem being, of course, is that I never know if Seiko has changed the formulation to stop straps breaking suddenly, but I think that looks pretty good. Okay, now begins the wrist test. Thank you so much again for watching.